I want you to picture this. You're on your commute. Maybe you're on the bus. Maybe you're scrolling through your phone at work. Doesn't matter. What matters is that little battery icon in the corner. You glance down. It says 20%. Okay, you think. I've got some time. I can make it home. You scroll a bit more. Check a message. Open an app. 5 minutes pass. You look down again. Now it says 1%. 1%. Not 15%. Not 10%. 1%. And suddenly, you're in panic mode. You're speed walking. You're dimming your screen. You're closing apps like a maniac. Because somehow, in what felt like seconds, your phone went from, I'm fine, to, I'm about to die. But here's the surprising truth. Your phone isn't lying to you. And it's not broken. It's actually doing something really, really clever. Today, we're uncovering why battery percentage mysteriously drops like a stone, how the chemistry inside your phone actually works, and why engineers intentionally designed it this way. To understand battery percentages, we first have to look at what phones actually are and what problem they're trying to solve. Think about 2005. You had a phone, a real phone. It was a brick. It lasted 3 days on a charge because it basically did one thing: make calls. That's it. No apps, no streaming, no constant connectivity. Then the smartphone happened. Suddenly your phone was a camera, a GPS, a video player, a music device, a social network, everything. And we wanted it to do all of this while fitting in our pocket for a whole day, maybe longer. There's a problem with that though. The human brain thinks about batteries one way. We think, if my battery is at 50%, then I have half my power left. It's logical, it's linear, it makes sense. But a phone battery? It doesn't work that way. Your battery is a chemical machine, and chemistry doesn't care about logic. Okay, let's break this down into what's actually happening inside your phone. Here's the thing most people don't realize. A battery isn't a little tank of electricity. It's not like a gas tank in a car where you measure how much fuel is inside. A battery is a chemical reaction. Think of it like a water slide. At the top, you have all this potential energy. Water wants to flow down, but you have to let it flow through the right path, through the right channels, so it does useful work. If you just smash a hole in the side of the slide, all the energy's wasted. Your phone battery works the same way. Inside the battery are chemical compounds, usually lithium ions, that want to move from one end to the other. When they do, they create electrical energy. That's your phone's power. But here's where it gets weird. The phone can't directly measure how much chemical reaction is left. It can't open up the battery and check the level like you check a fuel tank. Instead, it measures voltage. Voltage is basically the electrical pressure inside the battery. High pressure means lots of available energy. Low pressure means less. So the battery percentage you see, it's actually just a voltage reading converted into a percentage. And that's where everything falls apart. Here's the critical part that nobody explains. As your battery drains from 100% down to 0%, the voltage doesn't drop evenly. It's not a straight line. It's more like a ski slope. From 100% to about 20%, the voltage drops slowly, gradually. You've got hours of use here. Your phone is chugging along, pulling power, and the voltage is like, yeah, sure, no problem. Then something changes. Right around 20% to 15%, the voltage line starts to curve. It stops being a gentle slope and becomes a cliff. Why? Because of internal resistance. Imagine you're trying to squeeze water out of a sponge. At first, the water comes out easily, but as the sponge gets drier and drier, you have to squeeze harder and harder to get the same amount of water out. The water's still there. It's just harder to access. Your battery is the same way. As the chemical reaction inside gets used up, the remaining chemicals are harder to extract energy from. The internal resistance goes up. The voltage crashes. So your phone goes from showing 20% to showing 1% in what feels like seconds. Not because the power is gone, but because the voltage has dropped so sharply that the phone can't reliably power itself anymore. Here's the part that blows people's minds. This isn't a bug. This is a feature. Phone engineers designed it this way, intentionally. Why would they do that? Because of lithium batteries. Lithium is weird. It's incredibly good at storing energy in a small space. It's why we can have phones that last all day instead of phones that weigh 20 pounds. But lithium hates being fully depleted. If you let a lithium battery go to absolute zero, if you completely drain all the chemical reaction, the battery can be permanently damaged. it might never charge again. So engineers built in a safety margin. Your phone doesn't actually let the battery go to zero. When it says 1%, there's still maybe 5% of real chemical energy left. Your phone just won't use it. It's like a restaurant that says they close at 10 p.m., but they actually stop seating new customers at 9:30. The restaurant is still there. They're just protecting themselves. But here's the money angle. For phone companies, this is brilliant because it protects the battery, and a protected battery lasts longer. And a battery that lasts longer means you don't have to replace your phone as often. Now, is this good for the company's profits? Kind of. A longer-lasting phone means you might keep it for 4 years instead of 3, but it also means fewer phone replacements. So it's a bit of a trade-off. The real reason? Lawsuits. If your battery dies suddenly and you lose important data, you could sue Apple, Samsung, whoever made your phone. If your battery gets permanently damaged because you let it fully drain, you could sue them. So the steep drop at the end is a legal protection. It's the phone saying, okay, I'm shutting down now before something bad happens. But wait, there's one more thing. You've probably noticed something else. Sometimes your phone will say 20%, then you restart it and suddenly it says 40%, or it hits 1% and refuses to die. Then you restart it and it's back to 15%. What's happening? Your phone is estimating. The operating system is making a guess about battery percentage based on voltage and usage patterns. It's not measuring the actual battery, it's predicting. And predictions are wrong sometimes. That's why plugging in your charger instantly fixes the problem. You're not actually adding much power. You're just giving your phone time to recalibrate its estimate. Think of it like a gas gauge in an old car. Sometimes it bounces around because the sensor isn't perfect. It's reading voltage, not actual fuel. Your phone's doing the same thing. Here's something else worth thinking about. That sudden drop from 20% to 1%, it's stressful. It's designed to be stressful. Phone companies know this. They count on it. Because stress makes you want to charge your phone. Stress makes you want to buy a portable charger. Stress makes you want a phone with a bigger battery next time. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how incentives work. But here's the thing. Understanding it changes how you feel about it. Instead of panicking, you can say, oh, my phone is just being protected. It's actually got more juice than it's showing me. It doesn't change anything about your phone. It just changes your anxiety level. And honestly, that's kind of brilliant design. So let's reframe this. Next time your battery hits 20%, don't think of it as my phone is dying. Think of it as my phone is entering its safety zone. Your phone is actively protecting itself. It's being conservative. It's being smart. And when it drops to 1%, that's not a glitch. That's intentional engineering. Someone, somewhere, thought about the physics of lithium ions. They thought about the law. They thought about user experience. And they built in a system that keeps your phone alive longer. Your phone isn't broken. It's not lying to you. It's just speaking a language, voltage, and doing its best to translate that into a percentage that makes sense to a human brain. And honestly, the fact that it works at all is kind of remarkable. The next time you're panicking about that 1% battery, take a breath. Your phone's got you. If this surprised you, if you never realized your phone was intentionally dramatic about its battery, hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden stories behind the everyday things you use. Because the world is full of tiny engineering decisions that shape your life. And most of the time, they're not mistakes. They're just secrets waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.